Good morning and welcome to FYI. For your information, it's already the 10th day of November. Listen, the time going by so fast. Thanks for joining our live broadcast this morning. For your information, we got a lot of things to share with you folks, and welcome with our apologies for being a tad bit late this morning. You see, we start most mornings with court these days. With court, and we can tell you more about that later on. But good to have each and every one of you on the live. We apologize. Good to have you guys joining us from the many, many places you are joining us from. I see you guys pouring in from YouTube is always first. YouTube is always first. Always efficient. Folks, a lot of things happening out there this morning. And we're just happy to have some folks here with us to share this information with. Valid, credible information. Thank you guys for joining us. What are you guys having for breakfast this morning? Do let us know. I got some black coffee at my end, right off to the left here. Some black coffee. Watching it, wishing there was some other things to accompany the black coffee. You know, the back pay as yet. Has it been? Good to see you on the live, Mornis Toby. Good to see you, Emily Durant, and the other guys joining us. Lynn Fernandez is here as well. Great to see you, Lynn. Apologies again for being a tad bit late this morning. Yesterday we were detained by court and couldn't make the show. Wanted to do it so bad. Love being here with you folks in the morning. Wanted to do it bigly, folks, but just could not. Emily Durant, we see you. We see you there. We couldn't let this morning pass though. Could not let this morning pass. Rose Anna, you know, it's a slower paced program. Waveney Doris, we see you as well. And we love starting the day with you good folks. Pam Halls, good folks like Pam and the other guys joining us. Folks, if you're on the live this morning, the guys would let us know that we can receive contributions to our broadcast via the stars feature. You know, if you're on Facebook, you can benefit from that and help us, our program, to move along. If you're joining us from YouTube, well, then you know you're going to be in the dollars. In the comment section, there's a dollar sign, dollar symbol, dollar emoji at the bottom, and you click on that, and you can use that to contribute to our program. And we have several other ways: Cash App and Zelle and PayPal, MMG, Western Union, MoneyGram. We have that very secure link, very easy to use. Folks who want to contribute via your debit and credit cards, you guys can use that as well. But that being said, folks, we got quite a bit of information we want to share with you. Wonderful, beautiful folks this morning. Quite a bit of information passing, making the rounds at our end. Quite a bit of information. What are you guys having for breakfast this morning? What's up for breakfast? Waveney Doris. Good to see you, Waveney. And I see we got Neon Harding there. And the other guys who are joining us. Quite a few things to get through. Neon says, constant blackouts. Yeah, everything black. I understand that, Leon. Veronica Primo Rollins is here as well. Great to see the beautiful soul that is Veronica on. Good to see you, Veronica. I see Joanna Green is here as well, and Anthony Edmondson is here. Folks, quite a bit of information to get through this morning, and we're just super happy that you guys are here with us. Super happy that you guys are here with us. Y'all know how we say it. We on the live. That's how we say it. Y'all doing kidding. That's how we say it. We say you're on the live. Grateful for each and every one of you. Folks, since you hold for us, why don't you take the opportunity to share the broadcast? Smash that emoji button for us. You know how we do it. Smash that emoji button for us. We got a long ways to go yet. We got quite a long way to go, folks. And we want as many persons to get the valid, credible information as possible. See, as many of the persons who are joining us to get valid, credible information. So share that live, folks. And boy, we got some information for you. You know, one of the hardest things and most difficult things is being on air and you don't have anything to say. So we make sure and ensure that we got the valid and credible information. And we're not just coming here, folks, to make up stories. We ain't going to do it with you guys. Maybe some other places going to come out, some other persons and fluff and bluff. But we ain't going to do it so. Evelina Whitaker, we see you there. And Jolly and all the other folks joining us. Savannah Page, we see you as well. Let me come a little bit this way. Yeah, so you can see more of the graphic. Eric Williams, we see you. Is it Dr. Eric Williams? Guys, great to see each and every one of you joining us this morning. And we did see we got quite a number of things we're tracking, folks. Yeah. On the broadcast this morning, you know, this $5 billion plus that we heard about yesterday morning, teachers got something and public servants got something, you know, nice time. We're just happy. We're just happy for everybody. Trying to find my bearing. Yeah. We're just happy for everybody, folks. Trying to get my bearing. To give you the best vantage point. We're just trying. We're happy for everybody. With the Doors got to eat a bread, and Beverly Booker got to eat a bread as well, and Jolly Anderson and Albert Smith got to eat a bread as well, folks. Not so? Rihanna Mingo, good morning to you. We all got to eat a bread. And so we were happy when we saw teachers getting some money and public servants, as I said, getting some money. That is deserving to them. That is deserving to them. But you know what is frightening, folks? Is that this government, this installed regime, got to see people punishing and suffering. Savannah Page and Michelle and all the other folks joining us on the live this morning. Got to see folks punishing and suffering before they step in. And that is very, very sad. It is absolutely sad because the National Assembly, inclusive of the opposition, approved this spending of $5 million to help ease the cost of living. You know, everything is sky high out there in the market, the supermarket, the corner shops, sky high. And since February, understanding this, we agreed with the government. Let's get something to the people and allocated with them $5 billion. We wish we could do more, but they don't want to go beyond $5 billion, right? They don't want to go beyond $5 billion. They go beyond that for friends, family, and favorites, but not for the rest of us. We wanted to do more, right? But we said something is better than nothing. This is since February. Kamal Prasad, this is since February. This money was approved by the National Assembly. But they see us punishing and punishing and punishing, your jawbone showing, your spine exposed, your rib cage out there. And then they come in. You see, they're not too certain the kind of December we might have. So they roll out now. They roll out, they hop out, they creep out, swim out, and say, hey, take that in your face. But Jolly Anderson, Andrew Cuthbert, I want you gentle folks and friends to understand, this was approved in the National Assembly since February. These monies, since February, what have they been doing? What have they been doing? Maria Vera, I see a comment. Maria says, no, Duncan, don't give us that defeatist, something is better than nothing. Agreed totally. Public servants deserve way better. Agreed. And that's why we're going to keep making the representation. But since February, these monies were approved in the National Assembly and they're sitting on their hand. Sit down, white people in this country, punishing. And you heard what FYI came out yesterday morning, made this announcement, and then they got cameras in public servants' faces, smile and say like it. See, that is very interesting, very, very interesting. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that? You're given pittance, as the folks in the comments recognize. And you must say, oh, thank you, Sahib. Thank you, big uncle. Yeah, that's what they would have. But we ain't having it. We're not going to have it. And you know, it's very stark in comparison. Some of these benefits to our teachers came up to just over $1 billion. And could you imagine that $1 billion amounted to a contract to a fellow they call Bordness. A fellow we call Bordness. He alone got a contract for $1 billion. And this pittance, as some of you recognize, is close to $1 billion. PNCR had a press conference yesterday morning and circled back to this issue, that same contract, and how Bordness was not qualified for that contract. We got a lot of stuff to get through this morning. Take a look and take a listen. Economic advisor to the leader of the opposition on that very point of that contract with Bordness.
PPP's elite, friends, family, and favorites policy is costing Guyanese dearly. Citizens were alarmed and confused when they heard that an $865 million infrastructure contract was awarded to a recently formed company associated with the individual known as Guyana Critic, quote unquote. They were further alarmed when, a few days after this announcement, a worker was crushed to death on the worksite of that same company. Guyanese are entitled to a safe workplace, and government contracts should only be awarded to those who comply with relevant safety laws, regulations, and standards. We need to see the results of the Ministry of Labor's investigation into this tragedy so the public knows the truth. Further, our MP David Patterson noted that this company did not meet the minimum experience criteria set out in the procurement rules and brought this matter to the attention of the Public Procurement Commission. After the Commission decided to investigate this award, they were denied the relevant information by the National Procurement and Tender Administration Board, a shocking act of obstruction. This is unacceptable. The Public Procurement Commission, which is a constitutional body, is legally entitled to access documents relating to matters of procurement from any procuring government entity. It must not be obstructed. Denying this commission has not only undermined Guyana's institutions, it has raised the public's suspicion even further. NPTAB hiding the details of the award of a contract for nearly $1 billion Guyana dollars to a non-PPP supporter, no less, raises red flags of corruption at the highest levels. It is a classic example of the PPP's elite, friends, family, and favorites policy when it comes to the allocation of the nation's resources. This must be investigated, and those involved held responsible. The PPP cannot be allowed to treat this nation's resources like their personal bank account. This situation would be bad enough, but, as usual, Second Vice President Jagdeo has demonstrated once again that the PPP has no regard for law and order and national institutions. It is inconceivable that rather than supporting the Public Procurement Commission, he would say that that body should not have threatened to go to court over NPTAB's non-cooperation, but rather ask the president for assistance. Jagdeo seems to believe that Guyana is a dictatorship and that its laws are meaningless. The Public Procurement Commission must be treated with respect. Our courts must be treated with respect. Guyanese must stand up against this casual tyranny, a tyranny which is becoming more prevalent daily. Jagdeo's bizarre attitude, however, has also raised questions about his own involvement in this matter. Jagdeo must say whether he played any role whatsoever in this award. And this too must be investigated so Guyanese know the truth. Guyanese are reminded of Jagdeo's words in the Vice documentary, in which he said, "Sue is my friend, he gets all the support." Is the Guyana Critic a friend who has received quote-unquote support? If so, what exactly was the support? The public needs an answer to this question. It should come as no surprise that Guyanese cannot look forward to good quality, lasting roads, or even a consistent water and electricity supply if the specter of corruption hangs over public procurement. The PPP's elite, friends, family, and favorites policy is making life worse for ordinary Guyanese, including their own supporters. This has been compounded by the PUP's consistent efforts to undermine Guyanese institutions like the Public Procurement Commission and judiciary. It is clear that their only interest is in enriching themselves at the expense of our dear country.
Yeah. Elson Lowe of the PNCR, again telling us that this contractor Birdness, valued at about $1 billion, that's a teacher's guy yesterday. Yeah. Thousands of teachers got to compete for that. One contractor. Sometimes you wonder if you're in the right profession. Sometimes you wonder, are we in the right place? The right profession? Well, we're getting some reactions on this. Before we get there, we all know the old boy had to say something. Had to say something to overshadow Ali. So he comes out to say that the retroactive, this is your money, my money, nobody give away nothing. Belongs to us. The wealth of this country, the opulence, belongs to all of us. Waveney Doris, Isabella Butters, it belongs to all of us. So they said the retroactive to public servants is going to be announced shortly. It's good. He had to say something. Got to say something. As you're coming on, folks, share the live, smash that emoji button. We want folks to get as much valid and credible information as we can afford. Look at some of the reactions we're having. The Ghana Teachers Union came out to say, while they welcome any increases to the folks under their charge, right? They're concerned. That's what they said. They are concerned. And here why they're concerned. Right? They said they see the need still for collective bargaining so that teachers of all categories, senior and junior, you see, can get the percentage. Let me make sure I get it right. Can get the benefits. Right? Senior and junior. Here was a statement out of the GTU, the Ghana Teachers Union said. They noticed that the government has been incrementally addressing proposed matters outlined in their submitted multi-year proposal. We believe, the GTU says, that collective bargaining process would have enabled us, government and union, to arrive at a consensus early. This is why the union saw collective bargaining as important. It would have allowed government and union to arrive at a consensus early so that teachers would have a clear understanding of their benefits. So it is welcomed. But the GTU saying here, much more could have been done. That's what the GTU is saying here. Much, much more could have been done. And that's just some of the reaction, folks, we're following to this announcement yesterday morning. Teachers are going to get a little increase, and public servants are going to get a little increase. Edward Brooms, you saw that? Ingrid and Naomi. There's just some of the issues we're contending with this morning, good folks. Some of the issues at our end. Yeah. You know who also had something to say on this? Huh? The Ghana Public Service Union. Yeah. The Ghana Public Service Union saw this as arbitrary impositions. Again, looking at the need for collective bargaining. Ali said they consulted with the unions. So how come the unions ain't satisfied? if there is meaningful consultation in their statement, the GPSU said it strongly condemns these arbitrary impositions which are in conflict with the president's obligations with his oath of office to respect and uphold the Constitution and the laws of Guyana, which speaks to collective bargaining. So while they put a mic in faces, teachers' faces, they want that smile. They want, yes, the Ali regime is doing well. The unions are clearly unhappy. The Guyana Teachers Union says that better consensus, or rather consensus period, could have been reached and better benefits offered to our teachers. And the GPSU, the Public Service Union, says these are arbitrary impositions. You ain't gonna see that in DPI with Patrick Yard and Mr. Light, because you won't see any smile on their faces. So DPI wouldn't want that, right? But you go and you put a mic in some teachers' faces. And of course, in this country, people understand how vindictive this regime could be. So yes, everything nice. Just let me get back to work. Yes, man. Yes, man, everything nice. That's what they like. You see, that is what they live for. That is what they live for. So those are some of the issues where these increases are concerned that we've been looking at. Some of the reactions out in the union. Yeah, that's where we are. As I said, they're telling us the retro. You know, we live for the retro in this country. The retro is going to be announced later. I think sometime in December. Right. But we got a date with Destiny, a rendezvous with Destiny on the 3rd. Folks, wherever you're joining us from this morning, Irwin Dawn and Rosanna, John Jones, Sean of Fortune, share the live, smash that emoji button, good folks, and partner with us as well. And as we transition to the other section of our program, if you're going to be out in the city this morning and you're looking for a good justice of the peace, Commissioner votes to affidavit. You know, Alistair Collins has put together a wonderful team. Very friendly, efficient, courteous, professional staff down there at his firm. They're experts in all the documentation needs. They write on the ground floor of the Callion Mall on Lamaha Street, between Camp and Waterloo Streets. Tell them I send you. And even get some bacon and eggs and a little coffee. 649-6410 and 685-6448. 649-6410, 685-6448 for all your documentation needs. And folks, we crave your indulgence to partner with us so that we can keep going program after program, week after week, month after month, and now year after year. Next week, we are so privileged. And is it next week or is this weekend? To be celebrating 3 on Monday, folks. On Monday, we're celebrating 3 years. It's the 13th, yep. 3 years ago in November, we launched out. And we're happy to say we're still here. 3 years ago in November, folks, we launched out. And we are still here, going strong. We got the QR codes because some of y'all said, this little thing, be a little tech savvy. We got the QR codes as well, folks. Partner with us and help us to keep moving forward, good folks. Don't let me detain you much longer there. Some of the other stuff we're tracking, folks. You know, I see them abusing out City Hall. Oh, it corrupted this, it, that, it, all manner of things. Yesterday was a very interesting editorial in the Starbucks News. Very, very interesting editorial. Hopeless was the header of that editorial. Basically, it spoke to some comments Irfan Ali made in Kingston recently, telling the residents that during a time with City Hall, the government was going to come and bypass City Hall once more and help to alleviate some of the challenges the folks. Sounds like a good idea, you know, prima facie. Sounds like a good idea. And now we got some bright people on the live. Check and see what that means. Prima, Prima, Facie, prima facie. Ingrid King, you're quick with your device, your mechanism. Olive Thomas, check and see what that word means to me. Out front part saying, who's Swift? Swift bad. Sheila Boyd Child on the live this morning. Margaret Nelson, Swift too. Quick. She gone from Somerville to the New York, the Empire State and back. Quick. Prima facie. Right. Prima facie, the thing sounds good. But a deeper interrogation. See, when you buy a dictionary from Austin's bookstore, you won't be left behind, you know. Huh? Naomi Jock is a big word. Pineapple. Pineapples. Camille Cox. Iron sharpens iron, that's what the good book says. So a man sharpens the countenance of his friends. Anybody check it? Prima. Primafacie. Prima facie. Let me learn to get this word, man. Please and thank you. Camille say now get like some GPL sayan. Yeah. Better late than never, no? Starbucks News says it's hopeless. That's what Starbucks News said yesterday. It's hopeless. Ali said, we can step in and help. City Hall wasting time. Neon Harding says the phrase means accepted until proven. Yeah. On the face of the thing, we'll accept it until. So when Irfan says, the government is going to step in to help clean your drains and so on, it sounds like a good idea. We can accept it. But on further interrogation, Calbino said it means at first sight, at first impression. Look, story now. Class in session. Calbino, hand up. It means at first sight, at first impression. I can see some of you are using this whole day now on the job. It's a legal term. I picked it up as a student at law, reading for my LLB, my Bachelor of Laws degree, and I graduate, folks. That's why I understand the struggles of the University of Guyana. Right? And every university got its struggles. Look, academic work and easy. Only walk on prima facie. On the face of it, Whitney Doris, it sounds nice, and we accept it. But Starbucks News did some interrogation. Here's what Starbucks News said. The reality of what President Irfan Ali has set in motion in Kingston and Alberton is the epitome of divisiveness. That's what he said. It is the epitome of divisiveness. He says it is not only completely at odds with his one Guyana ideal. This is Irfan Ali. It is not only at odds with his one Guyana ideal, but as far away from unity as he proclaims to be its foundation as the moon. It is not only completely at odds with his one Guyana ideal, but as far away from unity, as far away from the unity he proclaims to be its foundation as the moon. It's real far. Sabbath News is the epitome of divisiveness. That's what Sabbath News says. It is the epitome of divisiveness. The editorial goes on to say, the MNCC, even as politically divided as it is, is meant to function as a body that runs the city. As a body that runs the city. That's what the editorial says. Signaling out words. Trying to multitask. Yeah, trying to multitask here. Signaling out, Sabbath News says, and engaging with councillors outside of their statutory office is interference. Fair and simple. Fair and simple. Epitome of divisiveness. Divisive. Interference. You see, when you interrogate further, sometimes the thing is not all that they tell you, you know. Right? You see that? Maxine, potatoes. Right? Sabbath News says it's the epitome Forbes. Oh, Forbes. I can use Forbes. Forbes Medusa. Meduse. You see that? Forbes Meduse pronunciation. It is the epitome. Epitome of divisiveness. He said we can do it. Folks, yesterday's Sabbath News editorial for homework, required reading. Hopeless. It says with this kind of attitude by the one Guyana president, we ain't going nowhere. That's what they said. We're not going to go any place. And you see all them billions that are handing out. Hold on, brace yourself. Yesterday as well, we saw a letter. You see, we were prepared yesterday morning. We weren't Skype it. But court, this, next thing I say, wanted man out there. Go to court, stay and have the show. Go to court, stay and have the show. All right? Go to court, stay and have the show. Epitome of divisiveness. There was a letter in the press yesterday. You see all the millions and billions? One man in Bordness, $1 billion contract. And teachers got to get $1 billion sharing among themselves. You take a 10,000 here, you take a 5,000 so, and let me go down. P.R. Leacock, or in all the other folks. Look at this letter we saw yesterday morning. Letter in the, are we in the right place? Letter out there. We in the right place? We coming back. Bibi gone back. Bibi gone back. Don't peep the carrots. All right. You're lucky. We don't seem to have the letter lined up. But it was talking to the issue. Folks, students are out there hungry. Students are out there hungry. And, you know, as I talk about that, I think I'm going to be joined by the Lord Mayor of Georgetown because I want to get his response. You know, it's amazing just to be able to call people and then pick up the phone. Mr. Mayor, very good morning to you.
Morning. Very good morning to you, my friend. How are you doing?
Good at this end. Just happy to have you on the line. We have been examining here some of what has been making the rounds in the press about City Hall. For instance, the president going to Kingston, going to Albert Young and saying he come to take over the drains. And the fact that in yesterday's editorial in Starbuck News said this is divisiveness. It's the epitome, the epitome. It's the epitome of divisiveness.
I agree with you. I believe the president, like I said even the headline, it says that he would have spoken about or addressed issues of local democracy or threatened local democracy, and also breach the separation of powers, because at the end of the day, the president has his job to do from a macro standpoint and to treat with policies for the overall running of the country. The idea of spending $1.4 billion at the last local government elections for him to come down to the level of looking at some street drain or looking at something, it's ridiculous that he has to do that. Having local government elections and causing those councils to treat with their job is what has to be done. I mean, at the end of the day, I would have assumed that he would have wanted to have these kind of conversations with the various councils so that we could figure out what resources we have, what resources the government could bring to the table so we could address these issues, not for him to want to micromanage the overall process. And I believe that that was a ridiculous approach to treating with these issues, and one that is of great concern to not only the Georgetown City Council, but all councils through the length and breadth of Guyana.
Mr. Mayor, what is this thing of recent, this very, very frontal attack on City Hall? Because City Hall has been the subject of, for instance, the General Secretary of the PPP, Vice President Barry Jaglio's press conferences. Of recent, City Hall is corrupt. The amnesty for rates and taxes is a source of corruption. You seem to be in the crosshairs of the PPP. What's happening there?
Well, you see, I'm glad that I'm able to get them to pick, and I'm glad that I'm able to get them to look at these issues. As a matter of fact, I'm glad that my comments are able to strike a chord with these leaders in the PPP, especially the Mr. Vice President Barry Jaglio, because at the end of the day, I don't believe that Mr. Barry Jaglio should be the one speaking about transparency and accountability. If you do a Google of Mr. Barry Jaglio, you will see who's the man that is least transparent, least accountable, and there's a number of other things that goes without saying in relation to his name as a person who would have was president and other things, and now vice president, where there's a number of other allegations that goes against him. So, but I'm not here to listen to what he says from a central level. At the level of the local council, I will listen to the councillors that come there, and we will agree as a body to treat with matters as what the honorable vice president in this case is trying to do. Is trying to dictate as to how the council operates. He's trying to determine every given situation. The point he has made in relation to this particular issue is one where he has suggested how something should be done and how this must be done. Yes, he does not even know what is being done. He does not even know how we went about treating with these issues. Before now, we would have created a policy or regulations as to how we treat with amnesty. We've had those systems in place. We've put those regulations in place, and we did that to protect the integrity of the system, the integrity of the council then, the integrity of the council now. What he wants to do is to suggest that we just left this thing open, have an amnesty where anybody could come and pay, and to come into and it's be dealt with by the administration, where the town clerk or the treasurer treat with these issues. We want to at least have a say in the process. We want to at least have some way, and that's how we would have created our policy to treat with those issues, so that we know exactly how the system is. We know that at the end of the day, we have a majority of the council where we have the control. But if you allow for the administration where they have their hands in members of the administration, or they could treat issues, that will obviously compromise the overall system and compromise people's properties at the end of the day. So we, as a council, are there to regulate our business and to ensure the integrity of the system. And we want to have to play a significant part in that overall process.
Excellent. Are you surprised, Mr. Mayor, that even though the government in the run-up to local government elections spoke about working with any council that gets elected, this is their stance, this what City Hall, this is not New Nation from the PNCR, this is not the key from Alliance for Change, this is Tabuk News, professional media entity, middle of the road, albeit they said this is the epitome of divisiveness. Are you surprised?
Yeah, well, like I said, you don't hold your breath when you come to certain decisions or certain statements made by the PPP in some areas. I was very optimistic. I have been one of those persons who have always lobbied and always say that yes, I will try my best and try my utmost to be able to work situations out. As we all know, politics in the real definition is about collaboration, consensus, and cooperation, and trying to work to see who gets what when. And I was hoping that elevating myself to this office, I'll be able to work this situation out and find common solutions and workable solutions among the different sides, because that is what I'm about. I'm about finding ways. I'm about negotiation. I'm about doing things in a different fashion, and I'm still not opposed to doing that. I'm still ready to be able to find things and deal with matters and bring matters to the table so that we can have that kind of discourse and discussion so that we could find workable solutions moving forward. But obviously I cannot hold my breath, because they have always preached one thing and do something else. Even the issue of where the president, like I said, went to Kingston, went to Alberton, and trying to deal with these matters, and also to divide the council, where he's asking his PPP plus be part of a process of dealing with these issues in the real sense, avoiding the council itself in doing its work as a collective. That is, as you said, the epitome of divisiveness. Yeah. And this is the president who speaks of one Guyana, who preaches one Guyana, who preaches and talk about these different ways and means of how we'll deal with issues, and want us to have all hands on deck. But it's not, whatever he's preaching, he's not practicing. And I'm very much concerned about that. And I'm hopeful that he has a reversal of a mindset to treat with these issues. And let us have a big table conversation. Let us have a boardroom discussion. Let us find ways, because there are ways that we can work with each other and find common solution for the betterment and the easement and the bringing significant remedy to the citizens of Georgetown.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I always knew you had that large-heartedness. It's these one Guyana people, the hypocrites. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for coming to us very short notice.
Okay, man.
All right.
Cheers, bye.
There you have it, folks. The Lord Mayor of Georgetown, the one and only Mr. Alfred Mentor, they're on the line with us this morning. Hopeless is how Tabuk News characterized it. Hopeless. And that lecture in yesterday's Kaito News doesn't get better. Does not get better. Here the letter writer says, secondary students in hinterland skipping classes due to hunger. Boardness getting billion-dollar contracts. And our students are starving. That's the header there for you, From interacting with poor students, this is in yesterday's Kaichur, from interacting with poor students who are the majority and having family members who attend secondary schools in the interior, this cohort of youngsters does not share the same experience. You see, we're talking about all these feeding programs and meals for school. As the writer says, this cohort of young people in the hinterland don't share that experience. They face a challenge where most go hungry, not having lunch daily at school, especially those that travel from very far away, resulting in some teenagers being reluctant to learn and preferring to stay away from school after midday because they are hungry. High-income country, fastest growing economy, big GDP. Put in a pipe and smoke it. Students skipping school in the hinterland due to hunger. One minister dental works is $4 million. Her dental work is $4 million. It's $4 million. Her dental work alone, $4 million. Can you imagine that? And children in the interior, the country, the fastest growing economy in the world, going hungry. All of them should resign, bow their heads in shame. Out front parts, you see that? Yesterday's Kaichur News. You can go and check it, fact check it. Don't take it prima facie. Fact check it. Skipping school because they're hungry. Michelle Garrett, hungry. Some of the things we're following this morning. Y'all can share the line. Baby is back. Behind bars. Baby Sharida Gopal, Nisha Gopal's mother. Nisha Gopal, a few years ago, was found to be brutally murdered. Her mother and the boyfriend were implicated. He was subsequently freed by the CCJ for lack of evidence. The mother was given 25 years. We found her home relaxing, chillaxing. After 13, Ghana Prison Service says they miscalculated. Oh, don't put in my GCOM, I beg you. Don't put in my GCOM, I beg of you. Don't pass them wrong by Claudette. Claudette Gamba can't the rock though. Claudette swim back on the rock quick. You miscalculated. Irfan had to order an investigation. They haven't said if the investigation is complete or not. But Bibi is back. And as I said in last evening's program, this cut both ways. What she did, convicted of doing, is horrendous. But imagine if Bibi had thought that her freedom had come the right way. Could you imagine the psychological horrors in a human being? 3 months now, this is not yesterday, Bibi was released, you know. We heard. Don't tell nobody. Back channels. If you get the right amount of money, you can go home on weekends. Right? Whether you're serving 25 years or life, you could go home for 3 months, 2 months, come back, and tuck him back nice and easy. Rastaman. You bring your brown paper bag, and you let them guys eat a bread. Huh? Conjugal visits, weekend visit. You and your family, you could be serving whatever's the most horrendous crime. You could be let out to go down by the creek with your family. Once the price is right. Big Smith News broke this story. Baby's been home for 3 months. Going to market, getting her hair done, luxuriating in some bubble baths, a little champagne on the weekends. You know how women take care of themselves. Baby's back now. behind bars. For how long? Roderick, we can see the report. Are we going to be privy, Wanda Henry, Lyndon Jones, Irwin Dunn, Andrew Griffith, to report on the circumstances? Well, we can't afford calculators now. Students in the interior going hungry. We can't afford calculators for the prisoners, for the prison administration to calculate properly. The batteries. What's the problem? High income, biggest GDP country. What's the problem? What's the issue? Bibi's back behind bars this morning. And in New Amsterdam prison, that's what they tell us. Waveney Doris, Ethelene Peters, back behind bars. 3 months out. She got some time left. Is it 12 years? Before you wink. Before you wink. See? Albert Smith, Evelina Whitaker, Trevon. Yeah. Some of what we're following, folks. You know this issue concerning our borders. Following that as well. Clear and present danger. Leader of the Lines for Change, Kemra Ramnajan, said repeatedly in the National Assembly on Monday, it's an existential threat that we're facing. Right? The Secretary General of the United Nations is very, very concerned. And what he says is the escalation of tension. Very concerned about that, as we all should be. But we know how we've been going about like nothing is happening there. Business as usual. Antonio Guterres. You have another pronunciation? Antonio Guterres. He says he's very concerned about this escalation of tension. Of course, we showed you on last evening's program a finale meeting with Lula da Silva, raising that as an issue. Will Lula issue a very strong statement of condemnation against this aggression by Venezuela? We wait. We wait. It wasn't Guterres who David Arthur Granger, in his own deliberate judgment, submitted this matter to for his guidance, and which ultimately led to the International Court of Justice. Yeah. So we're watching that, folks. He says it's the escalation. He's very fearful, concerned about this escalation of tension. This is a clear and present danger, folks. Clear and present danger. If there ever was one. Clear and present danger. We got to watch that. Are we doing enough? Are we? Yeah. As he said, this matter should have been coming up for hearing on the 14th of this month. Venezuela asked for some time. That's what we're being made to understand. Venezuela has asked for some time. They never want to get involved. You see? Never want to get involved. But in the last minute, it's some delaying tactics. Right? They have to make oral arguments about this referendum. I thought to get the ducks lined up in a row. But they've asked for some time. Delaying tactics much. All these things. Good folks. All these things, apologies there. We got to keep watching. So they've asked for a little time. We can keep you guys posted. How are we going with this? The hearing, the timeline has now been revised. Regionally, there have been some commentary on this issue as well, good folks. And we're paying attention to some commentary we see coming out of Trinidad in particular. and out of the Express newspaper. You know, Trinidad has recently signed some agreements with Venezuela as well. I ain't hear Rowley on this yet. And what the UN Secretary General Guterres says is the escalation of violence. I ain't hear Rowley yet. But the columnists in the Daily Express, I put them on par with Sabuk News, a decent newspaper in Trinidad, says TNT should not be engaging with Venezuela. Should not be engaged with Venezuela. And that's recommended reading. You plug in that header in Google, that article is going to come up. Should not be. And I think another opinion piece we saw in the Express, this was on the 6th, I think, of November, and this is the Oren Gordon column. And the header there is, TNT should not be engaging with Venezuela. But another column, another opinion piece rather we saw, I think, put it in context. Are we useful idiots flirting with Maduro? Well, me and name calling this one here. Me and name calling in this one. Flirting with Maduro. That's why I said it. It's a little, also more context. Oren Gordon says we shouldn't be engaging. You see, TNT should not be engaging with Venezuela. This opinion piece says flirting with them. And we know Mia has played a very heavy hand in the current course of elections in Venezuela. Because you see, she's running for Antonio Guterres' walk. She said that Venezuela has been a sister country to Barbados. A sister country. Throw your friend under the bus. Just like that. We know why. We know why. We ain't gonna tell you everything. Who know? You see? Who know? All right, here's why. When you find a Paku, you got bossy back. Back the salt. Who know? We know why. So folks, some of the issues we're tracking this morning, this is an extremely sensitive, I can't find the adjectives. This issue of the border controversy, right? And you're very serious. That is the word I think I was looking for. Very serious. Right? I don't know what is your, this is what? Amber is your level of alert. What's the highest one? Very, very serious. See, they asked for some time to reply orally to the National Court of Justice, Venezuela. But they're asking some time for this referendum. So Ali and Jack, you could be possessing themselves out there like everything is normal. And I think the fact that they made this announcement about this, the bonuses and so on, signals how worried they are. They ain't wait. None of us know what December looks like. You got to prepare for the worst, though. You got to prepare for the worst. I see Beverly Booker say earphone getting below. It's clear. Right? It's clear. Blow left, right, and center. It's very clear. Folks, that's going to do it for us at this end this morning. I think we give you back the time. Apologies again. Folks saying no sound. Campton Reed, you're not hearing any sound? Campton says no sound. Campton, we saying all the things thing in here. So you might want to check things at your end. Orin, Waveney Doris, prepare for the worst. I won't give you nothing and say, everything will be all right. We don't know one day from the next with the governance in this country. Everything out the window. Friends, family, and favorites. Why must you don't get a private jet park with Chelly Jagan, just in case? Just in case. That being said, folks, that's going to do it for us at this end this morning. Good to see Beryl Crawford on the live, Naomi Druck on the live. Oh, look how many of you looking so absolutely beautiful out there. Thanks for joining us, each and every one of you. Good to see Ingrid King. Vashti, Vashti, I didn't see you. Recently, I was expecting to see you by GWI. I didn't see you, Vashti. I didn't see you, Vashti. Siobhan McDonald, Kyle Bino. Folks, before you go, share the live for us so that others get valid, credible information. Don't just keep it to yourself. And this is one way in which we push the program forward. Whether you're joining us on YouTube, if you're joining us on YouTube, I want you guys to smash that emoji button. Facebook too. But especially if you're on Facebook, share the line for us. Let us get into some of those other timelines so that folks continue to get valid, credible information. Smash that emoji button before you head out, folks. I know some of you heading off to work. Some of you might be heading home. Some of you might be at work already, in between places. In between places. Folks, have a fantastic day. Have a fantastic day. Take care of yourselves. You know we can't depend on these folks to do it for us. Take care of yourselves. Please and thank you. We're going to see you guys right back here on the next broadcast. Trevon Lilly, Michelle, and Savannah, and Edward, and Rhonda. Gloria Gordon, good to see you there, Gloria. Smash that button, that emoji button before you guys go. Smash it for us and share the live, folks. Once it didn't cost you nothing. I know some of you fear victimization yourselves. And remember, good folks, remember, you're heading into the city, you're looking for a good Commissioner of Votes, Affidavit, Justice of the Peace, for your documentation needs as well. We want to recommend the Alistair Collins firm. You're down near the Callion Mall, Lamaha Street between Camp and Waterloo Street. Remember, folks, also to partner with us so that we can keep going. We are 3 years on Monday the 13th. 3 years out here, good folks, on Monday. Yep, believe it or not. Believe it or not, we're going to be 3 years, good folks. We're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to that. Partner with us as well. We're available via Cash App and Zelle and PayPal. MMG MoneyGram, Western Union. You know the whole gamut of it. Folks, if you need some clarification, you need guidance, WhatsApp Venus, the 21st century. 627-6963. 627-6963. WhatsApp us, folks. Here are the QR codes for faster access to Cash App and Zelle and PayPal. We even accept your credit and debit cards as well now. Scan the QR code, it takes you right to that page. Or you can WhatsApp us and we send you the link. Either way, thanks for joining us this morning, guys. We're going to see you on the next one, on the next broadcast. As I said, smash that emoji button before you go in case you have hundreds of you are still online with us. Be reflective in those emojis. Do that for us before you go, folks, and share the broadcast as well. That being said, Olga, Stacia, Michael Hunt, King James, Michelle Garrett, and Deborah Pearson, Debbie Collins as well. That's our time, folks. Have a fantastic rest of the day.